Joining us today is the team behind Aarya. We have Sushmita Sen, we have Chandrachur Singh, and we have the director Ram Madhwani with us. My first question is to Sushmita and Chandrachur. When you're coming back, like when you're making a comeback, as they say, um, there's obviously a need for a good script, of course, but then there's this huge audience that's wanting to see you. Which of these two factors do you think is a bigger responsibility when you're making a comeback?
First of all, you can make, so to speak, come back because people still want to see you. And then once you decide on doing so and you want to decide on a script, you do keep in mind the fact that it should not just satiate your creative needs, but also fit in well with what they're looking forward to see you in.
Sushmita has put it across beautifully. Along with that, I do believe content is king. The script has to be excellent, and the person who's making the project has to have credibility in terms of how to portray what is the written script and screenplay onto celluloid.
Now my question is to you now. We've seen you make Neerja with utmost, beautiful intention because the movie was beautiful. It did beautifully, struck a chord with all the audiences. When you have a woman at the center of your film, of a web series now, do you perceive it any differently? Are there things that you're more sensitive to?
Well, it's a good question because I have realized that as men, I am at times sort of in a way educated by the women around me to be sensitive towards many things that as a man I'm not sensitive to for whatever reason that we are made the way that we are. And so I am thankful to the strong women who surround me, including my wife Amita and my co-producer in Ram Madhwani Films, which apart from her, a lot of the crew and the team is also made of women, and they're there to make sure that I am, sort of who I am, and I'm sensitive towards what the feelings that I may not be having. So whether I've done justice to that or not, I don't know. But I certainly get slapped around for a lot because of that.
This conversation that comes time and again that, do we have enough men who can perceive things with that sensitivity? But do you think that the conversation should move ahead of gender, ahead of the sex that's taking on a role as a director or a scriptwriter?
I think I'd like to answer that. Very, very true. Very, very true. But there's another way of looking at it. That I don't think Mr. Ram Madhwani, having gotten to know him now a little bit, he doesn't really write a script saying, let's make Neerja and make the woman the protagonist and create this true story based on, Neerja. Or then Aarya, because it has a central strong character and she's a woman. I think he just writes a character based on what he likes. It just turns out to be a woman. So he has gone past he's not even looking at a gender.
I would like to just say this because I felt it. When I saw the trailer, it sort of took me back to the role you played a little bit in Samay, and obviously you were you're on the other side of the law here. You were a cop, but the grit and the courage sort of is like the center of both the characters. I felt. Did you draw any parallels while shooting Aarya from Samay?
Not at all. But I will tell you this: the reason you feel that way when you look at it is because Samay was another film which is a felt performance. I acted with my body language in that film. It was one of those rare opportunities, again, with a terrific director, to be the person, be Malvika Chauhan.
Yeah.
Was not trying to project it, I was being her. And you find that similarity when you look at Aarya. That's the only common factor.
You also took this choice to be with your family, with your daughters. Was there anything that came your way in that period when you were taking a break, or was that something that you wanted to do? I think you mentioned about writing something for yourself. Why did that?
Hey, I'm going to make my own Rocky. Yeah. Yeah, we did go a lot of back and forth on different, both the big screen and OTT. And we almost confirmed a different show prior to this one. And this magically came to me at a time when I would have otherwise made a big boo-boo. I would have committed to the other one, and I cannot imagine doing anything but Aarya. So for me, this was like divine timing. And
With you, you've done some beautiful roles. I personally love the Ajay in Kya Kehna. I think till date I will watch Kya Kehna for your character. Then of course there was Marches. What kept you away for so long? Was it a good script not coming your way? What was it?
That too. There's multitude of factors. I think my personal priorities were more important at that time. I had responsibilities which I needed to participate in. They took priority over my professional life.
Ram, my questions to you now. Obviously, a lot of the post-production of Aarya has happened through this lockdown period, and it's nice to say that we managed to do it through lockdown. But of course, there are those hiccups that happen because of technology. There are those hiccups that happen because we're not used to this way of functioning. Do you think that the entertainment industry, can go on with something like this?
Post-production, yes, a lot of it, VFX and dubs and edit and all can happen, as we've done. It is more difficult. It takes you 2 or 3 times more, and you have to do a lot of meditation to you're saying Om to yourself while various things are not happening. But shootings obviously will, because of social distancing, etc., is going to be a tough thing. But it'll pass. We are creative people. I found are people who look at the brighter side of stuff. I find that we are people who are positive. We look at, sort of stuff which it'll improve. And so as creative people, I think we are saying to ourselves, this will pass. We will get back there and we will make movies and shows again. And yes, it has happened in the world before. I don't know how long it'll take. Plus, one of the things is that we had 588 people on our team. And I think we support each other. So even from an economical standpoint, my rostrum people, my light boys, my spot boys, our Shetty Anna, who's our person who used to look after us, all these people need us. And I keep saying that we are here today talking to you because they were there. And I think just in terms of just us getting back to supporting each other is necessary.
How do you think writers' room and all of those things, and especially from a story point of view, creatively, how do you think the audience is going to, post-COVID, see stories? What kind of content do you think is going to strike a chord with them? I think it's going to be a process till we figure that out, right?
How are we all going to deal with what are the kind of stories that come out now? I think, I certainly want to make a comedy. I think it's time that I make people laugh rather than make people cry. And so that's what I want to do next. I want to, Aarya is an intensive process. It does drain you.
The major change I feel from the times before to now is social media, we have social media, we have people actually looking at what you're saying, what you take a stand for. Do you think that's a pressure as an actor today to be able to have that space with millions and millions of people following you, but also have that responsibility to take a stand for what?
yes, the media outlets, the social media, the number of people who are tech savvy now, the conversation that's online, all of this aside, you still have to go with someone's conviction to make a film. It could be yours, it could be the director's, it could be someone you trust, but there has to be someone's conviction when you choose a body of work. How that will be received comes second to were you convinced in doing it. Because you can't judge how it would be received, because you've got too many different variables involved. But what you can be sure of is that you went into it with conviction.
So,
So that's been easy with Aarya.
Sushmita, there is, I'm just sorry to interrupt, but Diksha, there is a writer who's an Argentinian writer called Jorge Luis Borges who was asked, why do you write? And he said, for my friends, for my family, and to ease the passage of time. And what happens is that when you choose to ease the passage of time, you better choose well. And in what Smita and Chandrachur and all of us in the team feel, we've spent our time well. We've eased it for ourselves. We have made each other proud about being together with conviction, with patience, with humor.
You said in the press conference that the moment somebody would call you with your name, like by your name, like Sushmita, you would only respond to Aarya. And saying the experience was similar for Chandrachur. Why was that so? Sushmita and
so everyone called me Tej. Everyone called me Tej. That's my character. Everyone called me Tej, and I called Sushmita wife and called husband because that's the roles we were playing. I would call her wife, she would call me husband. We were in character. It was so natural.
This is one of the systems that they have developed in Ram Madhvani films. You see, they've put together a system where you just call the actors by their character names. We get so used to it that the only place where I felt something was organic and was not designed that way was my children calling me Mama. Not in the shot, but outside of it. It kind of naturally became relationships became like Papa. We would be addressing each other by the relationships we had on screen, even after pack up.
But why did you get that first patka on the first day of the shoot? Why did that happen? And how did that change things for you on the set?
We are all creatures of habit, sweetheart. We go back to where we come from like this if we are not checked. And that's what happened. And there was Ram with a very nice big danda going, come to me, let's have a chat about this. What was that?
Very, very compassionately, very sweetly. I love my actors. Okay, I will never ever. I just look after them. I love them really too much.
We've come to the end of this chat. I am looking forward to Aarya. I think a lot of people already are. And thank you so much for doing this. And I wish you all the best for Aarya coming out on Hotstar on 19th of June.
Yippee!
Yippee!
Lots and lots of love.
Bye.
Take care, my love. Bye.
Yeah.